There's an elephant and donkey both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. How about if I have the microphone in front of my face? Welcome back to Oh No America. It's me, Nora. I actually am prepared. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, gals, folks, thank you so much for showing up. Appreciate. Oh my goodness, guys. I started going over a little bit, with my children's Project 2025, and they have not read it. And this is why we're going over it. Ooh, what is on me? It's like a little, I got it. It's a fuzz. This is why we're going over it line by line, guys, because it's really that important. It's really that important to, know the rules and find out. So yesterday we found out some pretty important stuff in promise number 3, that the Republicans don't know math. Okay, the super conservatives, they can't math the maths, because they are trying to start a an outrage response from people about all of these Confucius institutes that are taking over higher learning. And when we did the maths, we clearly found out that was 2% at its highest, and now it's down to like 10 locations out of 5,300 universities and institutions of higher learning. So, yeah, the hyperbole is strong with this document, but the problem is that people take this as dogma. They take it as fact. And the other problem is that right now, there really isn't a truthful, fully progressive media source out there. That's the sad news for people who are on the opposite end of the spectrum from this document, right? Like for them, there's Fox News, News Nation, Glenn Beck, like the list goes on. There's just more. We used to have, on the far progressive leaning side of things, we used to have the Young Turks. That's been gone and started eroding, I would say, honestly, after the 2016 election. It has gone steadily downhill. Okay. Last night during a live, one of their major contributors, Mondale Robinson, basically resigned on a totally different show. He was on a different podcast celebrating his anniversary with his wife. And he was like, I'm not doing it anymore. I cannot believe what's going on over there, what's happening, that Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian have basically like pulled a Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. And if you don't know what I mean by that, because you're like, I don't watch any of the mainstream media, fuck all those guys. And I get that, right? So Joe Scarborough, and like, here's the deal, guys. I don't know why anyone is shocked that Joe Scarborough went and fucking had a meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He's a Republican, right? That was the whole point of having Joe Scarborough on MSNBC. He's like, look at this. It's a progressive Republican, guys. He used to be in Congress. He's going to tell us how Congress works. Pew, 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 pew. And then, he and his co-host started having like an affair. That's totally cool, I guess, with HR and MSNBC. And then they get married. right? And now they're this married, couple where Mika Brzezinski is super, Democratic. They're trying to do like the James Carville and his wife thing, where James Carville is like a super Democrat. He's the raging Cajun. He talks like this, and he's like really old now. He looks like Skeletor. And his wife is like super Republican. He's like, if we can make it work, America can make it work. Like, do y'all talk about anything of substance? I mean, I get that you love your wife, and I'm sure to you she's a lovely lady. But how can, at this point, this isn't just like Republicans want, less taxes, and Democrats want to fund things with taxes, and like, oh, this is where we disagree. It's just taxes. Like, this is not where we're at in 2024. Okay. The Reaganomics eras, the fucking like, we're basically the same. We're not that different. No. This is the difference, y'all, between this Coca-Cola, okay, and this remote control. They're not even in the same category, right? This is a liquid drink that I consume. This controls my lights. They're not the same. They don't. No. Okay. We're not on the same page anymore, or even in the same book, in the same library, in the same language. Like, these are the things that we have to like fully understand. Okay. We are not on the same playing field. Okay. They are playing bocce ball, and the Democrats are still trying to play baseball. And they're like, guys, we both have balls. Let's just have fun with our balls. Like, bitch, you can't play baseball with a bocce ball, and you can't play bocce ball with a baseball. They're not even close to the same game. Not even close. Okay? Like, no. Stop trying to conflate all of these things. Like, I want to show you guys a little bit of this interview, just so you get what I'm talking about. If you guys have ever watched the Young Turks, you know what I'm saying. I was a fan of the Young Turks when it first started. I watched them a lot. I unsubscribed from them like 10 years ago because I couldn't take it. Well, not 10 years ago. I would say 8 years ago, 5 years ago or so. Right. I'm like, I've been out of them for a decade, but like, it's been happening since the 2016 election. Since that happened, it's just been this slow, like, frog in the pot situation. So let me pull this up here, because, I'm like, why isn't that showing up? And that's because this one is taking up the whole screen. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. So this just popped up in my feed, and let me go back to the other one, because that's also something important to do. So, yeah. So I'm going to pull up, I'm going to show you guys the screen now. Sorry. Okay. So this is a man called Benjamin Dixon. It's the Benjamin Dixon Show. I've only seen a couple of his things, but so far I really like it. I subscribe to him. And this was the one that popped up for me. TYT contributor quits live on air. Okay. So I watched this whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing for you, but I want to get to this part right here with Anna Kasparian on Glenn Beck, so you can see what I'm talking about and what they're talking about. Okay. Here we go.
Enough of what she said. What did she say? Like just being on Glenn Beck is different. If you're going on Glenn Beck and cussing his ass out.
See, now this gentleman here, I don't know who this is. Because in this edited version, I didn't watch like the whole video all the way through. So this is like the edited version with the highlights from him. And I don't know this gentleman's name, but I love his attitude of like, well, what did she really say? Right? Like what really happened? So let's listen to Anna Kasparian here just for a little bit on Glenn Beck, so you can see why this gentleman here, Mondale Robinson, is like, I'm fucking done. basically.
Talking about individuals.
And I'm not trying to make up for nobody.
He interrupts here for a second.
Marcus,
He's
listen.
very pumped up.
All right.
Here we go.
In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, you know, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just.
Okay. So Benjamin Patrick's going to explain in a second, but she's not talking about the right. She's talking about the left. Oh, what did I do, y'all?
Back and cussing his ass out.
Talking about individuals.
And I'm
All right.
not trying to make up for nobody. I'm just
Hold
like,
on, listen. Marcus, listen.
all right.
Here we go.
In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, you know, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just that they care about that issue. It's that they've taken that issue and they've made it part of their identity, the core of who they are.
Mhm.
And it's almost like what you would expect from religious zealots.
Okay. So now she's comparing the left with religious zealots. Okay. I want you to listen to the dog whistles in her words here.
You know, and so there's a fundamentalism
Fundamentalism.
in the way that they treat these issues, and there's no room to negotiate. There's no room
She's talking about the
to
left.
maybe consider the thoughts and concerns of individuals.
So there's no way to get through to these people.
And so as they become more and more kind of like authoritarian in what they
Come on,
demand,
us.
they are pushing people away.
The left is pushing people away, right? So the left is now not popular. Who is popular? Gonna be popular, right? Okay, so we're all on the fucking defying gravity kick here, right? We're all on the fucking wicked kick. We got to look at even her fucking hair. She has turned herself into a Fox News clone. Okay, the hair, the jacket. She's very primped up.
And there are some issues in which the rights of one group might actually end up conflicting with the rights of another group, depending on what type of legislation you're pursuing.
What?
And so, of course, this has come up with the trans issue.
Right, the trans issue.
And I've always been supportive of the transgender community.
I have lots of black friends. Right.
But when the
So
rights
what?
of transgender people, particularly transgender women, start to cause some tension.
Pesky trans women just causing tension. Rude.
With the rights and freedoms of women or the perceived safety of women, well, let's have a conversation and
Yeah, perceived safety is key. Correct, Benjamin.
avoid assuming the
Perceived
worst of the people who want to have
We're
a
not perceived,
conversation.
right?
First of all, those people don't want to have a conversation. They're not having a conversation. They are making demands and they are saying like definitive statements. There's no conversation that the right is having about trans rights, about women's rights, or anything else. They're laying down the law.
We're in danger. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. This woman, that statement in itself is so dangerous. And that ain't even it. Like if you just pull up some of the stuff she put on her Instagram, all of that, it's crazy enough, bro. I am disgusted with this willing to play games and the fact that they're saying that we are zealots, we are religious zealots on the left. Come on, bro.
To Glenn Beck. To Glenn Beck, right? The king of religious zealotry in conservative media.
100%. Now, if you guys want to watch like an interesting study, look at the evolution of Glenn Beck. Okay. When I first left the Sea Org, Glenn Beck was one of the most popular pundits on CNN. Okay, in 2002. I actually liked his stuff. I thought this guy is speaking my language, right? Because I was stuck in a cult, an extreme right-wing fascist cult where he was like just, you know, tinkling the ivories just a little bit. Like ASMR fascism, white supremacy, cis hetero. You know, like they just do it like so insidiously, and they have been literally been imbuing society with this bullshit, and now they're just saying it loud. They've been saying the same thing, right? But this is literally now just all their talking points.
Right here, but it's not that they're going.
So I want to get to the part where, like, yeah,
make nice with Glenn Beck and Tim Pool and all the rest of them. For what? For why? For clicks?
Hold on. I gotta go further. We need to clip this. What I'm about to say.
Okay, but
hold on. I want you to land it.
I love watching these three guys together because I'll move myself down here because I'm blocking Benjamin Patrick's extremely handsome face here. 1 second. There we go. That's better. These guys are very passionate, these three gentlemen here, and I love the way that they interact. I love the way that Benjamin Patrick was holding space for both of these gentlemen here who are very passionate, but also they listen to each other, and the way they not only respected each other, but their audience. I really I learned a little bit in this viewing of this show for the first time. But let's listen to this here.
But right now, my soul is saying I got to do this.
All right, go ahead.
As an anniversary gift to me and my wife, if you are watching this show right now and you subscribe to TYT, unsubscribe, and you need to get a paid subscription to Ben Dixon. Right.
So he got real passionate right there, and then okay. All right, here we go.
It's the fact that there's a couple things. If you watch the main show, you're still going to get some decent progressive politics, right? You're going to get enough progressive politics for you to not really be completely aware of what's going on. If you listen to Anna and Jake on social media, on Twitter, on their Instagrams, if you listen to their little videos, if you listen to the interviews that they're doing in other places, you see them actively making nice with the very people who are going to be destroying this country in a very short order. And
yes. So it's one thing to have a show and be like, oh, this is my views here. Everybody come and join me here. And then another thing, no, Caroline, no one here is on the Black Eyed Peas. And then another thing to say out of the other side of your mouth on your personal socials, like, actually, here's what I think, right? So it's very important to hold people, public figures, accountable for being consistent in their messaging, right? If they're trying to attract a progressive audience and say, hey, this is the place for you. We're going to give you a balanced bunch of information, and we're going to help you to sort out what's going on. Then, on your personal socials, be like, well, Glenn Beck's my homie. Like, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
They're doing it, and they're doing it. Go ahead.
Being what you said, I'm announcing right now, I will do no more work. I don't know why. Something just said, I will do no more work with TYT, though.
Right there. Now watch their faces as he's making this announcement that he is essentially quitting a major gig.
In his current capacity, I will.
Oh, wow, bro.
No more content. I will be on no more shows. It's over for me. Like, something just told me I have to say that, and I need to put it on Twitter. I need to text Jink and Anna. Y'all can't call me for no more shows.
So immediately following this broadcast, he did just that. He texts Jink and Anna, and he put it on his Twitter, and he did a Twitter discussion live with people. But look at these guys. Like, Benjamin Patrick's taking it in. This guy is shook right here. Okay,
I'm done with
what?
Yeah, in real life.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Now his wife just walked in because he didn't talk to her about it. But watch how he handles that.
Damn, that's 100.
I love Dr. Richard. Somebody said, "What about Dr. Richard?" That's the only reason I have. That's the only reason I have tears in my eyes, because I love Dr. Richie.
Shout out to Dr. Richie.
I love Dr. Richie more than I love the ground that I feel that I need to stand on in this point. Dr. Richie is a super strong will and will be successful in everything. He got a million jobs for a reason. But
see, people are freaking out because they watch the Young Turks for his commentary. Now, if you guys don't know who Mondale Robinson is, he's a former mayor who like made big headlines because he tore down Confederate statues. Yeah. This is major news that Mondale Robinson is leaving the Young Turks.
This right now is me saying I can voice TYT in his current iteration. And if it means I'm never going to be in relationship with those people again, I accept that. But it's over at this point.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So let me lighten the mood real quick. The state of Oklahoma decided that they want to make sure that a lawmaker in Oklahoma, I think you have this, Ben. A lawmaker in Oklahoma decided that he wanted to enforce praying for Donald Trump as a mandatory religion in the state of Oklahoma.
That's where we're headed, y'all. Okay? Now we're going to pray for and to Donald Trump on a daily basis. Okay? Now, let me go ahead to where he talks with his wife here. 1 second. Because I want you guys to see, okay, right here where he looks to the side.
Even further than what it went with TYT.
Man, we opened up them doors for him.
Well, so I do want to say I do want to say one thing, because like I was on mute because I was having a conversation with my wife over here, because I didn't run that by her. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our household, and you know what I'm saying? She just looked at me and she like, hell yeah, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know who I am. She know who I am. And a lot of the times I tweet on that monument. I didn't run it past my wife. I told her, don't be in North Carolina the day I did that. And she wasn't there. And I just went there and did it. And I didn't tell her I was going to do it. So sometimes I do shit that affects both me and my wife without asking her, not because I'm sexist or I want to show up in that manner, but because I feel like I can't look at her in the face if I'm lying to me. So I'm glad you're not upset.
Right? Like, I find him to be such an incredibly classy man. The other thing, because I started exploring Benjamin Patrick's...
Thank you, Sister Mondale. Thank you.
There we go. Benjamin Patrick's channel a little bit. And I wanted to... sorry, Benjamin Dixon. I kept calling him Benjamin Patrick. I don't know why. That's wrong. Benjamin Dixon. So there's... it wasn't a short. It was another video. Okay. I think it was this
Warning
one.
number 2. White men are being convinced that something must be done about the black community.
Okay. What?
Listen to this audio of white nationalists on Twitter publicly planning to do something about black people who they have concluded are all murderers and rapists.
Okay. Now I want you guys to understand, if you've left Twitter, you were like, fuck Twitter. I'm just going to go to Blue Sky, and I'm hanging out at Blue Sky, and I'm not on Twitter anymore. So I don't know. Or you never have been on Twitter. Let me explain to you. So on Twitter, you can do like a live broadcast where anyone can join in and speak with you. It's like having a mini town hall. Okay. And you can then, it's just like sort of a forum. I'm trying to describe it. It's like you have like a mini talk show essentially, right? Because people come on, they say their opinions, and whatever. So this is real life. These are people who just decided to go on a public forum under their Twitter handle and say these things. I just want to preface it with that.
I mean, they did it in the 60s. They did it. I mean, every race riot ever, everyone capitulates to them because they.
Every race riot ever, everyone capitulates to them. meaning black people.
We're just burning, killing, looting, and raping everything. And the
What?
only way to make them stop was to give them what they wanted.
Oh, yeah. That's not who was burning. The white people were burning shit and black people. Not the people during the civil rights movement.
Excellent points. And you said there's no way to stop the blacks when they're burning and raping and everything except to give them what they want. There is a way to stop the blacks. It's called defeat them. Get them out.
Defeat them. Get them out.
Kick them out. Total
Yeah,
Negro
yeah.
deportation.
Did you hear the word he just used? He used Negro, like we're back in the 1870s. Okay? Deportation. Where are we sending people who were born here in America to? We're going to deport them to a random country in Africa because we decided that's where they all belong, even though majority, like 80% and higher of African Americans here in this country are descendants of white slave owners. But we're going to send them where? Come on.
There's also that avenue.
Yeah. My point to say that was we should mimic them. Show
Yes. Now we're
Yes. Mimic them how? These guys do not know history. They do not know history.
now we're getting somewhere. Yes. If white people behaved like niggers, I mean, they would have to give us everything we want because we're just
white people have behaved exactly like you're saying because it was the white people who did those things that you're talking about, not black civil rights protesters.
just so much more proficient in everything we do. I'm not going to say too much, but everybody knows what I mean here.
You know, you have a civil war, go ahead and wipe them all the map. That'll.
Okay, so this is a video of two cops talking in a cop car, and their internal camera and, records video and audio accidentally got turned on. Please listen to these enforcers of the law plot mass murder.
That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations because, and then you know what? The good ones can go live in their.
The good ones. Does that include Jews? Does that include gays? We're just going to have a tiny little. Does that include Native Americans? The good ones, guys. The good ones.
Little communities, and they can do what they want to do. Just stay out of my way.
That's former Wilmington police officer Kevin Piner talking with another former officer, Jesse Moore. The conversation was recorded on a police cruiser camera, which was accidentally activated.
Gee, I wonder why these guys are former police officers.
But if we do not get a handle on this, we are not going to have a country for our kids to be raised in.
We're not going to have a country for our kids to be raised in. What? It gets worse.
You told me tonight, you said, all right, tomorrow's a purge day, get as many as you want.
Get as many as you want. Get as many as you want.
Do not go down there.
You hear them cackling? You hear them like deliverance cackle? Ding, 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 ding.
I'd go down there and slaughter them motherfuckers.
I'd go down there and slaughter them motherfuckers.
I am sick and tired of allowing black people to get away with calling themselves Christians.
The Coach Dave live. Coach Dave. He's got a cross hat on with a projection, fake background of him in a very large stadium, which I'm sure he's never been in. Also, I'm pretty sure that's a soccer stadium. But blacks can now not be Christian.
And they're just black.
I don't, sir. You don't like for blacks to call themselves Christian because they're just black. None of these words make sense. But this is what a lot of people in the country feel. And these people are saying it their inside voice and the outside's loud.
I'm tired of it.
Excellent. Amen.
I'm tired of it.
Look at this guy. He's not just angry. He is rageful. He is rageful. He is ready to commit acts of violence.
We want social justice and reparations and all.
Yeah, ew. Social justice. Ew, reparations, what they were guaranteed in the Emancipation Proclamation by President Lincoln. Oh my God. Who the fuck do these people think they are, wanting to get what they have been promised since the 1800s? Jesus.
All this. He calling himself a Christian. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, Jesus definitely wasn't for social justice. Jesus was all about elitism. That's why he hung out with the poors and the hookers and the diseased. He was like, yo, this is my crew. Listen, we're the clique. Okay? So get with it or don't. Like, bitch, that's not what Jesus said.
I'm sick of it. Hey, dude, you may be a Christian, but you're black.
You may be a Christian, but you're black. Oh, like Jesus? Because Jesus wasn't white. Jesus was a brown Sephardic Jew from the fucking Middle East. From Nazareth. You know, that place that's not white. People really have got to stop with Aryan fucking Jesus. It's really, we got to stop with that shit.
Don't be discouraged, my friends.
Now, this part, listen, I'm not a Christian. I've been to a Seventh-day Adventist church and an Episcopalian church and Catholic church on several occasions, weddings. Both my grandmothers, one Episcopalian, one Seventh-day Adventist, would make me go to, you know, like take communion and listen to sermons on the Sabbath. But whatever church this man is preaching at, I want to go to. All right, here we go.
Don't be afraid, for God has not given us the spirit of fear. We are not going through this with the spirit of fear. We're going through this with the spirit of confidence.
Right? I like that. We're going through this with the spirit of confidence.
Number one, that the Lord is on our side.
Okay, I'll take it.
Why? Because we're on the Lord's side.
Right. We're on his team. We're teammates.
Because we're standing for truth.
Yes.
Because we're standing for justice, because we're standing
Yes.
for equity. We're standing
Yes.
on the word of God. We're standing on the promises of Christ, our King, and we rebuke
Okay.
white supremacy in the name of Jesus. We
rebuke it. Yes.
rebuke the white grievance complex in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
We rebuke the white replacement theory in the name of Jesus.
Yes. Get rid of that shit.
We rebuke the patriarchy in the name of Jesus.
Did you hear that, y'all? He's rebuking the patriarchy in the name of Jesus. I'm here. Let's go. I'm in church.
We rebuke bigotry in the name of
Yes.
Jesus. We rebuke xenophobia in the name of Jesus.
Yes. Where is this guy? I want to go to his sermon.
We rebuke terrorism, domestic terrorism in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
We rebuke the spirit of the Antichrist in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, okay.
We are not afraid. Number two, we prepare ourselves.
Yes.
We have every right as Americans to protect ourselves with self-defense.
Yes, let's self-defense.
We have every right in the Second Amendment to arm ourselves and
Okay, I guess. I mean, I don't have any guns, but yes, you do have that right. Okay.
to protect not only our families, our communities, our churches, our neighbors, and our friends. I've had the honor.
Like, I love this man.
And the privilege of speaking at multiple churches where not only was the pastor armed, but the first lady was armed. The deacon, the chairman of the deacon was armed. The mother of the church sitting there looking all dainty with her hat was armed. The sound man.
Everything you said
I meant to pause
I found really interesting was...
Oh, this is a great interview too with Trevor Noah, if you guys haven't seen it. But
warning number 2.
Let me go back.
And truth be told, we know that they spent in common Jesus' name. Our oath keeper, every 3 man was armed. The doorkeeper was armed. And so we want to let every person...
Listen, I just want to say something. If you go to a place and a tiny old black woman in a church hat is armed, you are safe there as long as you are polite and respectful. But if I see a tiny little black church lady with her Sunday hat on and a Glock, I'm sticking with her, because that lady, she's not afraid of nothing. Okay, like, she's seen everything and she is ready.
Respective Dylan Roof, every Proud Boy, every Boogaloo Boy.
He's calling out everybody in this. He's calling about everybody in this. Don't forget about Dylan Roof. Everybody forgot about Dylan Roof. This little shit that was welcomed into a black church for prayer circle was loved on by those people, and literally still murdered all of them.
Every oath keeper, every 3%er, every single one of you who's getting the idea in your head that you can come to our church and bring violence, you should know you will not leave the same way you came.
Yes, yes.
We can come in Jesus' name, or we can come out with them things.
That's right. Don't fuck around and find out, y'all, because people are done. This is the type of Regina George liberal shit that I'm talking about. We cannot beat around the bush. We cannot pretend that we do not have to be ready. We must be ready.
We don't seek violence. In fact, we rebuke violence.
Yes, sir. Rebuke it.
We don't seek conflict. We rebuke conflict.
That's right.
We're not the ones seeking a second civil war. We rebuke the very idea of a second civil war.
And y'all, them crazy whites, they want that second civil war because they want a reason, just like you saw in those 2 earlier clips, to be able to hunt and kill who they deem inferior. Do not get it twisted. Aubrey, my friend, one of the best. There's 2 books by 2 different black men that changed my life forever. One, the autobiography of Malcolm X. The second one, Yes, I Can, by Sammy Davis Jr. Both of those gentlemen grew up and evolved at almost exactly the same time in 2 different lifestyles. Okay. Both grew up incredibly poor, incredibly black, incredibly oppressed. Sammy Davis Jr., because his father was a minstrel performer, started performing at the age of 3. Okay. In traveling minstrel shows, getting on the train, showing up in a place, doing a literal shuck and jive for the people. Okay. And evolved and came in contact with the greats of the time, Frank Sinatra. He was part of the Brat Pack, right? And yet you see what still happened to him as a result, only because he was black. He was the greatest entertainer of all time in the history of our country, American-born entertainer. And yet at the height of his career in the 1950s, he could not walk in the front entrance of the Copacabana in New York because he was black. Even though, oh, I said Brat Pack. I'm sorry, that's the 80s, the Rat Pack. Thank you, Aubrey. He had to enter through the service entrance for a club that he was headlining. Okay. And then you have Malcolm X, right? Who is probably one of the most misunderstood civil rights leaders of all time. That man went through everything. He started out as a pimp and a con man and a drug dealer, went to jail, in jail, kicked heroin, found Allah through the Nation of Islam. And because of his charisma and his passion for that, he quickly rose to the ranks of the Nation of Islam. Now, there was a point where a lot of people, white and otherwise, were resonating with his message. And he was very anti-white. He made no bones about that. He said, well, you can support me all you want, but you can't march with me. You can't sit here. And then as he got deeper and deeper in the Nation of Islam, he started seeing some problems and some conflicts between the nation itself and what the teachings of Allah were. And then he did what every Muslim is supposed to do, Muslim male is supposed to do once in their life, and he did a pilgrimage to Mecca, which is, of course, the holiest place for all of the Muslim religion, where you do this pilgrimage and you circle, right, the monument so that hopefully you can get close enough to touch it. Now, in the monument, it's kind of like a whole building. Nobody really knows what's inside there, but what everyone is touching is actually a radioactive asteroid, which is like the most important thing, the Hajj, thank you, in all of, the Muslim culture. And when he did that, he says in his book that he had such a narrow view of what being a Muslim meant. And when he went to Mecca, he says, there I was praying alongside of Black Muslims, Chinese Muslims, white Muslims, Mexican Muslims, every type of person. And I realized I was wrong. I was wrong to exclude people from Allah, right? And he realized that he had this whole epiphany about how he should be preaching this as a form of love for all mankind, right? Not just this whole Black only thing. So when he came back to America and he started switching up his sermons, the Nation of Islam lost their shit and they had him murdered, right? But people only tend to remember the by any means necessary Malcolm, who was, strictly a segregationist, which is why the FBI and everybody else loved him, because he was keeping this divide, right? Where you had Martin Luther King, who was preaching love and harmony and all this stuff. For a long time, Malcolm was like, nah, bro, it's for us. It's not for them, right? And they had kind of a conflict. And then after his pilgrimage, he had a completely new viewpoint on what he was supposed to be talking about, right? Yeah, I know they have opened it, but nobody's, you know what I mean, Aubrey? Nobody's been let's do a tour of the Hajj today. I don't know what's in there. I've never seen inside there. I'm obviously not meant to see what's inside there. It's a holy place for them. But what's interesting to me is that any time throughout our history that you have leaders who preach this harmony, this love for all man, the same thing happens to all of them, including Jesus, right? They all end up getting killed. Anytime there's a prominent figure that's like, hey, y'all, let's all, put aside our differences, and can't we all just get along? Can't we just love each other? They're dead. That's what happens. Jesus was crucified. Malcolm and Martin Luther King were assassinated. RFK assassinated. JFK assassinated. Anytime people were moving this country in a progressive way, assassinated. Lincoln assassinated. All of these things. Yeah, John Lennon assassinated. Anytime throughout American history, that is what happens. Now, Jesus was not American. I'm not a crazy person. I know that. But it happens in other countries too. It happens in the world. Okay? It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Okay? But the words, and thank you for that quote there, Aubrey. The words of Malcolm, the words of Martin Luther King Jr. are probably more important today than they were the day that they uttered them back in the 60s. Because if we thought that the race war and the equal rights war was over, we have dialed the dial back. As you guys can see from this document, they are literally Jesus will come back to Ohio. Yeah. They're literally trying to dial it back to pre-emancipation times with our Constitution. And yes, but people, and this is what I'm saying, Aubrey, that quote, the whole quote, okay, let's bring that up here for everybody, okay? We declare, I'm sorry, Aubrey. Okay, we declare our right on this earth to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary. So, because white people are afraid of non-white people, okay, they only focus in on those last 4 words, by any means necessary. But that's where we're at right now. Like, that is where we're at, guys. That whole quote is beautiful, it's poignant, and it is fucking spot on. Okay, let's finish up with Pastor Benjamin here.
And truth be told, we know that they specialize in violence. We know that they have more guns. We know that they have been training their militias. We know.
Yes. Okay, it's not just Idaho, y'all. Okay, I started looking at an arm that I thought, okay, one day maybe I will need something like this. And I'm a fan, I'll be honest with you, of like the Henry, I forget what that's called now. You get the rifle with the where you do the thing like the Terminator had when he's spinning it. I forget. It's called something action. Anyway, this is how much I know about guns. Okay. But I was looking at those. And now my feed is filled with these very interesting white people who are very, very into the pew-pews, right? And it's everywhere, guys. It's not just like a one-off. It's everywhere. Every type of person that you could possibly think of has no, not pump action, because that's like this. It's the little lever action. The lever action where you have the little lever at the bottom and then you pew. No, that pump action is this. Guys, now I'm looking dirty. You know what I'm saying. I don't want the pump action. I want the lever action. Oh, this is going downhill fast. We'll finish this up.
That they're waiting for the opportunity for violence. But
Yes.
I tell you this much. You should not expect us to be docile people who are just going to be lambs to the slaughter of your ego and your frenzy and your mob mentality.
Thank you.
So no, we don't have the spirit of fear. We go into this with the spirit of reverence, the spirit of praise. We're going to praise our way through this.
Okay.
We are going to seek God's face all the way through this. But just as much as anyone else in this country, we have a First Amendment right to say what thus saith the Lord, and we have a Second Amendment right to defend ourselves against any aggression. And
yes, that's as long as they don't change it. Yes.
So we're calling it out right now. We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait till you have already worked yourselves into a frenzy. We're not going to wait until Donald Trump changes the laws. We're not going to wait until you do away with the First Amendment. We're not going to wait until you qualify the Second Amendment to not apply to the rest of us. No.
Right. Guys, you have to realize what he's saying right now is all the plans. They want to put provisos, okay, onto the Constitution, right? So not everybody can have a gun. Just the good ones, the right people.
If you're going to work yourselves up into a frenzy, then we're going to do it right now. In the name of Jesus, we call you out right now. For every one of you that think that you have the right to enact violence against the black community, we not only call you out, but we rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yes. Fuck those guys.
For every single one of you who's working yourselves into a frenzy, convincing yourselves that black people are degenerate and you need to do something about it, we're not going to wait until you get unlimited power. If
No, don't.
you're going to do it now. Do it now while we're still a nation of laws. Do it now while you'll still be arrested. Do it now while you'll still be held accountable. So
Yep.
we not only call you out in Jesus' name, we rebuke you in Jesus' name.
There you go. He said it. I love him. He's my new favorite person on YouTube. I'm going to watch everything. Yeah. This is, yes, the original rule was, you know, like white landowners had all the rights. Even if you were a poor white person, you didn't have those rights. You weren't considered equal under the law. In the Constitution, it's very clear that poor, indentured servitude whites are like, you know, more of a citizen, but black people were 3/5 of a human being. They put that in writing, the founders. That's what we're trying to go back to. These fucking dipshit constitutionalists who think that they can go backwards and declare that black people are no longer people. Like, this is insanity. All right. Let's get back to this ridiculousness. Holy cannolis. Guys, we're finally on promise number 4. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let me get a sip of my soda. One other thing here, real quick. 1 second. There's my micro. I was like, where did my mute button go? I don't know. And I'm back. All right. I had to blow my nose. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Promise number 4, secure our God-given individual right to enjoy the blessings of liberty. There's another reason why I put up the preamble, because I wanted y'all to see that before we get into this, because they're going to try and redefine that. Here we go. The Declaration of Independence famously asserted the belief that of America's founders that all men are created equal. I love how they put that in quotes. And endowed with a God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We just saw that. It's the pursuit of happiness, that is central to America's heroic experiment in self-government. Is it? I think, honestly, more the life liberty, you know. I like that. But anyway, when the founders spoke of the pursuit of happiness, what they meant, here we go, you ready? Might be understood today as, in essence, pursuit of blessedness. That is, an individual must be free to live as his creator ordained, to flourish. What about those of us who are not religious? Were we not made by a creator? Am I an alien? Well, I mean, I was in an alien space cult, but like, you know, what does that mean? Our Constitution grants each of us the liberty to do not what we want, but what we ought. That's not, The pursuit of the good life is found primarily, here we go, in marriage, family, marriage, children, Thanksgiving dinners. Yeah, let's celebrate the genocide day, and the like. Many find happiness through their work. Think of dedicated teachers or healthcare professionals, you know, entrepreneurs or plumbers, throwing themselves into their businesses. Anyone who sees a job well done as a personal reward. Religious devotion and spirituality are the greatest sources of happiness around the world. That is not true. Speaking as someone who has escaped a cult, I can tell you, fuck no. I have been much happier with like kind of no religion in my life and loving those around me and allowing myself to be loved. That's been the greatest source of my personal happiness. Now, that's not a knock on people who are very spiritual, who are very religious, who find deep comfort, like the gentleman I just showed, Benjamin Dixon, who clearly finds comfort in Jesus and in his Lord. I'm totally cool beans with that. If y'all want to worship whatever the frack you want to worship, go for it. Go for it. That's fine. As long as you're a consenting adult, I don't care. Okay? But forced indoctrination of children on anything, I'm not for. Period. Still, some others find themselves happiest in their local voluntary community of friends, their neighbors, their civic or charitable work. Sure. The American Republic was founded on principles of prioritizing and maximizing individuals' rights to live their best life or enjoy what the framers called the blessings of liberty. It's the radical equality, liberty for all, not just of rights, but of authority that the rich and powerful have hated about democracy in America since 1776. What? They resent Americans' audacity in insisting that we don't need them to tell us how to live. Okay. It's this inalienable right of self-discretion of each person's opportunity to direct himself or herself and his or her community to the good that the ruling class disdains. So now we've reversed course here from just white nationalism, and now we're trying to relate with the poors. Like, poors, we're totally one of you. We went through the list of authors here, of which there are hundreds, most of whom are lawyers. Raise your hand if you know a poor lawyer who's not a civil servant, who's like working at a law firm. They're a defense attorney. They're a fucking criminal defense attorney, whatever. Would you categorize any of those people as a poor? I don't think so. These people are trying to relate to the poors, and they're not even speaking to them correctly. With the Declaration and the Constitution, our nation's founders handed to us the means with which to preserve this right. Abraham Lincoln, we're going to invoke Lincoln here, wrote of the Declaration as an apple of gold in a silver frame, the Constitution. So must the next conservative president look to these documents when the elites mount their next assault on liberty. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't Abraham Lincoln look to that document and then help to change it a little bit when he put out the Emancipation Proclamation? Hello. Left to our own devices, the American people rejected European monarchy and colonialism. No, honey. Our country was founded on colonialisms. They were colonials. It was the colonies, the 13 colonies. Let's not rewrite it. Let's get it straight. Don't get it twisted. Just as we rejected slavery. Oh, did you? Have you? Are you sure about that? Second-class citizenship for women. Mercantilism, socialism, Wilsonian globalism. We actually didn't reject the Wilsonian globalism. That's why we have a global economy. Anyway. Fascism. Nope, this is straight up fascism. Communism. And today, wokeism. We're going to put woke, which is a stolen word from African Americans, by the way, which they have weaponized. And put it in the same category as communism, fascism, the patriarchy. To the left, these assertions of patriotic self-assurance are just so many signs of our moral depravity and intellectual inferiority, proof that, in fact, we need a ruling elite making decisions for us. Oh, so the founders were like, we don't need a ruling elite. That's why we're doing democracy. But because of wokeism, actually, just kidding, we do. But the next conservative president should be proud, not ashamed of Americans' unique culture of social equality and ordered liberty. No. That is not our culture. After all, the countries where Marxist elites have won political and economic power are weaker, poor, and less free for it. There's only one. And then where's the Marxist countries? Correct me if I don't know of any of them. Where are they? Are we talking like, is this a veiled thing about China being a Marxist country? I don't know about that. Also, they are not weak. No one should ever frame China as weak. Dear Xi Jinping, if you're watching this, I know you are strong. Great leader, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Like, I know you are commanding the largest army on planet Earth. Okay. And you probably have like 100 times the nuclear weapons that we do here. Don't get it twisted. I know who to be afraid of. I'm afraid of you, sir. Okay. The United States remains the most innovative and upwardly mobile society in the world. That is bullshit. That is a dream in their head. Government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. In other words, minorities should just take whatever the fuck they get and be happy with it and stop trying to be equal. And the next conservative president should champion the dynamic genius of free enterprise against the grim miseries of elite-directed socialism. Yes, more capitalism. More capitalism. So, Cuddly Floof, let's do that right now, okay? Because woke is AAVE vernacular, African American. Oh shit! Hang on. Okay, so is African American vernacular English. I want to make sure I got that right. AAVE. Okay, so. Yeah. So woke, okay, comes from that particular American dialect, okay? Past term of wake, okay? What's the meaning of the verb woke? Woke is a slang term that is easing into the mainstream. No, it's taken, okay, from some varieties of dialect called African American Vernacular English, sometimes called AAVE. In AAVE, awake is often rendered as woke, as in I was sleeping, but now I'm woke. Woke is increasingly used as a byword for social awareness, okay? Now, woke, though, for African Americans was like a warning. Oh, like you're going to that neighborhood? Stay woke. Like, be alert. There's some shenanigans and shit going on around you, okay? It literally means to be awake, to be aware of your surroundings. And now, these right-wing insane people have bastardized and weaponized that word into a bad thing. To be woke and be completely fully aware of your surroundings is actually a good thing. Okay? Also, to be cautious when you need to be cautious is also a good thing. But like, it doesn't mean what they think it means. Doesn't mean we're all like, yeah, I'm for all of the liberal stuff. Like, no, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. But they're trying to make it into the new N-word in this country. The promise of socialism, communism, Marxism, progressivism, we're going to put that right in there. But progressivism gets a lowercase p and then capital F fascism. So progressivism is one of these three things. Whatever name it chooses is simple. Government control of the economy can ensure equal outcomes for all people. That's not what progressives want. It's like they've never talked to a progressive before or listened. Okay. The problem is that it's never done so. There's no such thing as the government. I'm sorry, do we not? Is this a breaking news moment? There's no such thing as the government? They're just people who work for the government and wield its power. Oh, I see. So it's like Scientology. There's no such thing as the Sea Org because it's not a real entity. It's not a corporation. It's just the people who work there and commit crimes in the name of Scientology. It's same. Okay, I got it. At almost every opportunity, wield it to serve themselves first and everyone else a distant second. This is not a feeling of one nation or socialist party, but inherent in human nature. See, government, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Nighttime satellite images of the Korean Peninsula famously show the free market South lit up with homes, businesses, and cities electrified from coast to coast. By contrast, communist North Korea is almost completely dark. Yeah, because Kim Jong-un is like literally eating everything all for himself. He's a fascist dictator. Nothing is communist there. No one is helping each other. They're all starving. It's awful. It's a prison state. Except for the small dot of the capital city, Pyongyang, where a psychotic dictator, and his cronies live. That's accurate. But don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't forget that Kim Jong-un wrote Trump beautiful letters. Remember when he said that, guys? They were beautiful. They're most beautiful letters. They're just fantastic. People he's misunderstood. And where did Trump go during his presidency? Did he go and stand with Kim Jong-un at the border of North and South Korea? The first American president to ever do that? To go shake hands with the singularly most hated, most despised, most dangerous dictator on the planet? Oh, yes, he did. But here in Project 2025, we're going to pretend we don't like him. He's bad man. Bullshit. Trump loves him. Trump loves him. Loves Kim Jong-un. Brought him some KFC. They're besties now. The same phenomenon is on display in the infuriating fact that 4 of the 6 richest counties in the United States are suburbs of Washington, D.C. I don't know if that's true. Okay. 10 richest counties. Okay. Colorado. Where's this one from? New Jersey, California, Virginia. Okay, there's one there. That's another New Jersey. That's also California. Nantucket, that's Massachusetts. Maryland, okay. Again, New Jersey. Another California. Arlington. Okay, so we've got, this is Virginia. Where's Falls Church? Virginia. Okay, so those 4. Okay. That's also where all the founders lived. That's where George Washington is from. Right? Like he's from Arlington. Right? We have so much infrastructure there because that's like where everything started. Like these things that they try to say that are like bad things, it's like that's how countries build out. They build out from the center out. I don't understand these statistics that they're throwing at us. It just doesn't even make any sense. A city infamous for its lack of native productive industry. It holds American Congress and the White House and the Supreme Court. That is all American industries. Like, oh, that's what they're trying to say. There's no car lots in DC. It's not a real city. They don't have anything. Like, no, it was the seat of government. It was never meant to. God, it was never meant to be something else. This mega city that we've decided how we define our cities. We see the same corruption expressed on an individual level whenever billionaire climate activists who want to outlaw carbon-fueled transportation fly to A-list conferences on their private jets. Listen, I've got the same beef with this that Greta Thunberg does, okay? That's a bit hypocritical. But also, it's the way to get around the world. Unless you're Greta Thunberg and you're going to come to America and you fucking captain your own boat across the whole fucking Atlantic like a badass little bitch. Okay. That's not for me. I'm sorry. I will not be doing that. But thank you, Greta. Or when COVID-19 shut down politicians like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and California Governor Gavin Newsom were caught at the hair salon. Actually, yeah, she went to the hair salon because she's a vain ass bitch and she wanted her fucking hair dyed still. Now, should she have done that when everything was shut down and the salons were shut down? No, she should have just invited that bitch over to her house and told her to bring her shit. That's just lazy. Like, she has a huge ass fucking mansion in San Francisco. She has plenty of rooms. Okay. That's just stupid. Or dining at fancy restaurants after moralizing about how everyone else should stay home and forego such luxuries during the pandemic. Okay, so they're rich and idiots sometimes. People are not perfect. For socialists, and I was pissed at both of them for that, by the way, and I said so at the time. Anyway, for socialists who are almost always well-to-do, I don't know. That's not true. Jesus wasn't well-to-do. Socialism is not a means of equalizing outcomes, but a means of accumulating power. No, when socialism or any ism is weaponized, then yes. They never get around to helping anyone else. That's not true. The Soviet Empire was a social and economic failure. North Korea, despite the opulence of its tyrants, is one of the poorest nations in the world. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cuba is so corrupt that its people regularly risk their lives to escape to Florida on rafts. Yep. Mm-hmm. Venezuela was once the richest nation in South America. Today, a decade after a Marxist dictator took over, 94% of Venezuelans live in poverty. The rich people just left. The rest of the Venezuelans were already in poverty. Even Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders' home estate of Vermont was forced to repeal the state's single-payer health care system just 3 years after creating it. Yeah, because once again, people don't consult, okay? People don't consult with the successful nations that are already doing single-payer healthcare and be like, you guide me. You show me how to do this. Like, give us the blueprint. Tell us exactly how much tax has to be charged and how we distribute the funds and how we fund all the things. Like, why didn't we call these people up? They're supposedly our friends. In every case, socialist elites promised that if only they could direct the economy, everything would be better. AKA, we don't want to tax ourselves because we're rich. And I don't want to pay that money for poors. Poors should just work harder. Very quickly, everything got worse. In socialist nation after socialist nation, the only way the government could keep its disgruntled people in line was to surveil and terrorize them. Sounding a lot like now. By contrast, in countries with a high degree of economic freedom, elites are not in charge because everyone is in charge. Are they? People work, build, invest, save, and create according to their own interests and in service to the common good of their fellow citizens. There's a reason why the private economy hews to the maxim, the customer is always right. Bullshit. As a former customer service person, representative, agent, technician, however the fuck you want to name it, no company believes that. 0 companies believe that. The customer must be quiet. That's the real fucking motto. And however you get them to be quiet, go for it. As long as you don't fuck up profits too much, do whatever you need to do to shut that motherfucker up. Okay? When I worked at Starbucks, if you get a rowdy customer, like somebody who's just like, like, and screaming and yelling, you can give them a warning and whatever. And especially if they're like complaining about a specific barista, as the shift manager, right? You're supposed to basically like come out from behind the counter and be like, oh, listen, sir, ma'am, sir, I'm so very sorry that you had that experience here today with Lindsay. And, we will be having a conversation about that. It's really just a coachable moment. And please accept this gift card and have your next coffee on us. Okay. And you give them like a $7 gift card. It means nothing in terms of the daily revenue for the average Starbucks that is pulling in $100,000 to $250,000 per day in fucking revenue. It means nothing to calm and quiet the customer who's upset about their drink being made improperly, whatever, taking too long, than to try and be like, you're right. Lindsay, you're fired. Like, that's not what ever happens. And then after the customer leaves, you know what we do as the shift supervisor? We take Lindsay to the back and we're like, listen, that person was a fucking asshole and you didn't do anything wrong. Okay. I just want you to know that. But sometimes people are fucking dicks and we have to deal with that in customer service, that people are just fucking disgusting. So, if you need like an extra 5-minute break, you go ahead and you do that. You collect yourself and then let's get back on the bar and keep making those drinks. You're doing a great job. Like, that's what happens. No one thinks the customer is right. People in customer service and the company are like, these guys are fucking assholes. Here's a free coupon. Okay? Like, that's the real deal. While government bureaucracies are notoriously user-friendly, there's just as there's a reason why private charities are cheerful and government welfare systems are not. It's not because grocery store clerks and PTA moms are good and federal bureaucracies are bad. It's because private enterprises, for-profit or nonprofit, must cooperate to give or succeed. Yeah, it's also because of social media and the right-wing swing in this country. Customer service people are the most bludgeoned, most hurt people in our economy, and no one gives two shits about them, and no one pays them a living wage. Okay? But you're always expected to have a smile on your face. Oh, well, thank you so much for telling me I'm a fat whore. Here's your drink. Have a great day. Right? Like, people aren't nice because they're nice. People are nice so they don't get fucking murdered, because people are so out of control right now. Okay? It's not to succeed. It's to keep getting their greed satisfied. Because psychologists and psychiatrists tell us that human beings respond to doughy eyes and bright smiles. And it releases endorphins, right? And people love it. You just got to keep smiling. How are you? Oh, you've just interrupted me 47 times while I'm trying to make these 5 drinks. That's okay. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Don't you worry about one single thing. You just keep talking right to me so that all these other people that are now staring at me thinking, why is this fucking barista talking instead of making my motherfucking drink because I'm late for work, just brightens my day. Because customer service people, guys, feel that. We feel the projected hate and disgust and upset and fucking everything. And we just have to just do this like, okay, thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping by so much. So good to see you. So good to see you. Okay? The people who can perfect that, who never have a resting bitch face, who never are not just like this all the time, they don't succeed. They don't make it. They don't climb that corporate ladder. Okay? It is literally a fake it and then you make it. Not fake it till you make it. Fake it and then you make it. That's the more accurate phrase. So as the American people take back their sovereignty, constitutional authority, respect for their families and communities, they should also take back their right to pursue the good life. The next president should promote pro-growth economic policies that spur new jobs and investment, higher wages, and productivity. Yeah, let's invest in the climate, dumb shits. That would create a ton of jobs to move us away from fossil fuels. Yes, that agenda should include overdue tax and regulatory reform, but it should go further and include antitrust enforcement against corporate monopolies. Now, I'm not mad about the corporate monopolies thing. Like, yeah, let's do that. Okay. It should promote educational opportunities outside the woke-dominated system of public schools. Here we go. We're going to dismantle public schools again, and universities, including trade schools. I agree. Trade schools. Let's do it. Apprenticeship programs, yes. And student loan alternatives that fund students' dreams instead of Marxist academics. No, school should be free. University should be free. You shouldn't have to like fucking be in debt for the rest of your life to get an education. Plenty of other countries do it. I don't know why we can't. In the largest, most profitable, most prosperous country on planet Earth, we can't seem to figure this out. Okay. Just as important as expanding opportunities for workers and small businesses, the next president should crack down on the crony capitalist corruption that enables America's largest corporations to profit through political influence rather than competitive enterprise and customer satisfaction. Fuck KPIs and fuck customer surveys. Fuck that bullshit. I'm sorry. This is, I as a former customer service rep who would bend over fucking backwards and give a customer everything, and then they get the little fucking survey on their phone and I get a 0, right? Or my favorite at T-Mobile was like somebody would get like a pocket, they would get a pocket dial somehow, right? And they would pocket dial in to T-Mobile, and you could hear the phone like rustling in their purse or in their pocket, and you're like, "Hi, thank you for calling T-Mobile. This is Nora. How may I take your, how may I help you today?" Right? And nothing's happening. You're trying, hello, can you hear me? Joe, is this you? Are you there? You're like, do a whole thing for like two minutes, and then you say, "Okay, well, thank you so much for calling in. If you do need something, please call us back," and you leave the phone number, right? So that person who pocket dialed in, which internally they can hear your whole motherfucking phone call, that person gets a survey and they're like, "Oh, my account must be hacked." And so they give all zeros and they write this scathing thing. So then your supervisor has to call them and say, "Ma'am, sir, ma'am, that I listened to the call in question here. It was actually a pocket dial on your part and you never responded. Was there a particular reason you gave all zeros?" "Oh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. Can you change my answer?" The answer is no. And when you get one bad survey that's under like a 4, you lose your metric bonus for the month. Unless you earn 5 more all great surveys. Fuck that shit. Because it's not a fucking measurement of an individual's productivity and what they did. It's a measurement of human society's willingness to tear down whoever they think is below them. And it's fucking bullshit. And it ruins people's lives. Like when you have earned, a couple $100 bonus, when you're working a fucking hourly job and it's taken away by one asshole, no one should have the power to rip your money out of your paycheck because they feel like it. Ever. But that's what these guys want. Yeah. Analogous pro-growth reforms for America's voluntary civil society are also in order. America is not an economy. It's a country. We know this. Economic freedom is not the only important freedom. Okay. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and the freedom to assemble also represent key components of the American promise. Absolutely. Absolutely. Today, in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, right, because, on this platform, I can't say certain words or my video gets taken down, right? Because the freedom of speech is the freedom to speak out about the government publicly without fear of retribution. It is not the freedom for me to say whatever I want out loud in public. People have to get that straight. It gives us the ability to not be beheaded because we say, hey, the government's kind of unfair today. I don't like that. Right? And back under the monarchy days, you couldn't say anything about the king or the queen or anyone in the royal family, or you would be dead. Right? Exactly, Aubrey. Exactly. Yeah. I want to get to say the N-word out loud. I'm not saying that. I'm reading your quote, but that's what these people want. It's hard to read those kind of quotes, Aubrey. Because I'm not about that. I'm not about that life. Don't get it twisted, y'all. That is not, yeah. No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Today, in addition to, we already read that. I'll read it again. Today, in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, we see speakers at universities shouted down, oh no, nobody wanted to hear from Milo Yiannopoulos, the gay white supremacist. Oh, Milo. Oh, boo-hoo. You guys remember Milo Yiannopoulos? What a fucking piece of work that guy was. I took away his gay card years ago. Like, fuck that guy. God, I hate him. Anyway. Yeah, and students at a university have the right to shout down who they don't think belongs at their university, no matter where that person falls on the political spectrum. Okay. Parents investigated and arrested for attempting to speak at school board meetings? No. And donors to conservative causes harassed and intimidated? Yeah, because we found out that you gave the money we gave you to bullshit that we didn't like. After you're all like, I'm for the people. I love everybody. And then we find out, oh, just kidding. Chick-fil-A wants slavery and they're homophobic. Like, no, we have a right to speak out about that. The next conservative president must defend our First Amendment rights, right? Bring the hard end back to the N-word, basically. Best effort. Ultimately, the left does not believe that all men are created equal. They think they are special. No, the exact opposite. We think all people, humans, are created equal. They certainly don't think all people have an unalienable right to pursue the good life. That's not true. They think only they themselves have such a right, along with a moral responsibility to make decisions for everyone else. No, that's what you guys are doing. They don't think any citizen, state, business, church, or charity should be allowed any freedom until they first bend the knee. Nope. This book, this agenda, the entire Project 2025 is a plan to unite the conservative movement and the American people against elite rule and woke culture warriors. Our movement has not been united in recent years, and our country has paid the price. In the past decade, through the breakdown of the family, again, that is the white, heterosexual, nuclear family, the rise of China, the Great Awakening, big tech's abuses, and the erosion of constitutional accountability in Washington have rendered these divisions not just inconvenient, but politically suicidal. Every hour, the left directs federal policy and elite institutions, our sovereignty, our constitution, our families, and our freedom are a step closer to disappearing. No one is taking your family from you. Please, please, please stop saying that. Your marriage and the birth of your children is not more important, less important, or infringe in any way, shape, or form on my marriage and the birth of my children and their raising. That's not how any of this works. Okay? Please stop. No. Conservatives have just 2 years and one shot to get this right. They say 2 years, okay, because this was published in 2023. So they had to work really hard to make sure that a conservative president was going to win. Okay. With enemies at home and abroad, There is no margin for error. Time is running short. This is urgent, 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 urgent. If we fail, the fight for the very idea of America may be lost. No, actually, if you win, America is gone. We're going to have to be called something else. But we should take this small window of opportunity we have left to act with courage and confidence, not despair. The last time our nation and movement were so near defeat, we rallied together behind a great leader and great ideas, transcended our differences, rescued our nation, and changed the world. They're trying to pretend like this is what George Washington would want. Even George Washington's white slave-owning, slave-loving ass would not want what they are proposing here in this book, as they're calling it. Now as then, we know who we are fighting and what we are fighting for our republic, our freedom, and for each other. The next conservative president will enter office on January 20th, 2025, with a simple choice: greatness or failure. Make America great again. It will be a daunting test, but no more so than every generation of Americans has faced and passed. The conservative promise represents the best effort of the conservative movement in 2023 and the next conservative president's last opportunity to save our republic. Okay, guys, we made it through the foreword. These are the end notes. Now we finally get to section 1. We're gonna take on section 1 tomorrow. 5 parts, guys, to get through the mother-fracking forward. America, people of America, people of Earth, I just want to say I'm working really hard to echo what Benjamin said earlier about walking into this with confidence and not with fear. Because this entire document makes me very fearful in an extreme way. In an extreme way. And if I hear one more person, literally one more, tell me, oh, Project 2025 isn't about what you think it's about. They're not going to do anything about your marriage. They're not going to do anything about that. No. That's not what it's about. They didn't even read the foreword, y'all. They didn't even read the foreword. They haven't read it. They've heard the sunshine bullet points, okay, from talking heads on their Fakakta Fox News. They haven't even read this document. And so what I'm going to say to people is going to be harsh. Because you guys are here and you're going through it with me, this counts as reading it, okay? But to anyone out there in America who wants to debate Project 2025 and you have not read all 900 plus pages of it, it's the same way I feel about people who don't vote. If you did not vote, if you abstained from voting, you sat out of the debate. You have put yourself on the bench, okay, by not voting. If you're a Trump supporter, okay, own all of it. Stop cherry picking the 2 things that you think were A-okay with his policies before, and I want to see more of that. Respectfully, fuck you. You voted for all of this. That is what you voted for. Own it. Own it. I don't want to hear, oh, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just, political rhetoric, just, hyping up the crowd. Fuck you. This man told you exactly who he was from the jump. And y'all voted for it. Own it. Don't tell me how you're my friend. You just support me. Oh, I have gay friends. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have gay friends. You don't have black friends. You don't have Native American friends. You don't have women friends. You don't have any people of color friends. You don't have any minority friends. No, you have white supremacist friends. That's it. You have fascist friends. That's it. There is no Hannah Montanaing your way through Project 2025 and this administration that's coming. No. You don't get the best of both worlds. Okay? If you voted for this anointed orange Cheeto and this shit in Project 2025 that you didn't even bother to read since it's been published since 2023, respectfully, go fuck yourself. Okay? Playtime is over. There is a line. You drew it in the sand when you voted for this man. All right, let's get to questions and comments here, guys. I'm disgusted and pumped up. All right, comments. Oh, Aubrey, of course you already knew about Benjamin Dixon. You're way hipper than I am. Yeah, I think he's fantastic. It literally just popped up in my feed today, and I was like, "What is this? Oh my God!" And now I love him. To quote Thomas the Villain Bishop, they will always let you down. Yeah. Who is that? The other gentleman that was there? We gonna be all right? With the guy in the middle, or is it somebody totally? I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Comment, in my opinion, to the left are zealots now is down to things like tolerance paradox. Personally, I'm done being the bigger person and playing nice with hateful people. Yes, guys. And there's a reason why I made this. Let's go to my website here. .com. Okay. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So, guys, I made Regina George liberal merch here. We've got it in 2 different styles. There's still all the ohnomerica stuff. Yeah. I need to make some Patrick Dixon fan stuff because I fucking love him. We need to be, Regina George liberals, okay? The mean girl liberal is here to stay. And that's like, we definitely need to do that. This merch is available now. Super soft hoodies. Come on, guys, come get it. It's good shit. But yeah. Come check that out. All right. We don't call white folks colonizers for nothing. Correct. That's absolutely correct. I should make a merch that says recovering colonizer. Because that's what I feel like I am. I'm trying. Guys, I saw a thing that I want to talk about so bad. But I want to speak on it in the most respectful way that I can. I just watched this mini series called The Vow of Silence. It's a mini series on Hulu. About this Native American woman who was murdered in 1973 in the Badlands. Annie Mae Aquash. And holy shit. It's a lesson for us all of movements, of corruption, of how movements get torn down. I want to talk about it on this channel because it's very political. There's another documentary coming out, or it's already out. Sorry. It's a movie though, called Sugarcane, which is another documentary about another, Native American tragedy on one of the, reconditioning schools and what really went on in that place. The history that I learned from the Vow of Silence about that time in the 70s was just it was just mind-blowing, earth-shattering for me. But to see the parallels between that and like the anti-Scientology movement and that and like every movement that has ever happened in this country to move things in a progressive nature and how they get dismantled from the inside out, how they end up being the snake eating its own tail, showed a lot. And it also showed what was really happening at that time with the American Indian movement and how they were getting shit done. They were getting progress. And what did they end up with? Casinos. They ended up, instead of getting what was owed to them via the treaties that was signed, they got casinos, guys. And it's disgusting. And as long as that atrocity goes unchecked and unacknowledged, on top of, like, that's the original atrocity, right? And then we have the slavery that happened a little bit after the first, genocide, and then continued in parallel, right? Putting these people both in bondage and stripping them of their culture, of their language, of their tradition, all for profit. Which continues to this day with the American, prison industrial complex that's for profit, where we now have more people of color, particularly Black people, incarcerated than were ever owned by slave owners. And who's profiting from that? White people. It's the new slavery, y'all. It's the new slavery. Yeah. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that need to happen here. Righties are going to pop some arteries screaming like that. You don't have to say anything truthful or meaningful. You just need to stream some shit. Yeah. True. I mean, I wish I got the views that guy did. And all he's doing is screaming about how Black people are just Black. They're not Christian. I don't even know what that fucking means. Kelly says, I'm in a diverse neighborhood in a southwest suburb of Chicago. My next door neighbors are my nicest neighbors. They're African American. Darnell passed away in July from kidney failure. I'm so sorry. I've been close to many neighbors, and it's always sad to me when something happens. Yes, let's pump that DMX shit. I fucking miss DMX. R.I.P., man. Shut up, Aubrey. Your mom knew Otis Redding? Okay, Otis' most prolific albums had a white woman on the cover, not him. Yeah, because they had to sell it, right? Fuck that, man. Otis Redding is a giant. It's amazing. You are correct, Aubrey. You are correct. This is why I see Project 2025 as a war on people of color, because it is, my friend, because it is. Yeah, and I hope all the gay Republicans, the Black Republicans, the white lady Republicans are all getting fucking called out right now. Fuck you. We don't have the Venmo thing over here. Can we have the PayPal? No, you have everything. It's all the same link tree. So on my website, right? Let me pull up. I'm just pulling it up like you can see it. Cuddly Floof, you cannot. On my website, on the ohnomerica website, okay? Right, here's the top. Scroll. Right under the sticker is the links, okay? And if you click on that, it takes you here. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Boom. All of them. Everything is there. I try really hard, guys. This is the most organized I've ever been in my life on these websites. So, yeah. Definitely check that out. All the links are there. Truth Seeker says, never have I felt the need to own a pew pew. I'm not worried about my home being broken into or someone attacking me. I do, however, fear the change our Constitution fit one's narrative. Yeah. I have never personally felt like I needed a pew pew, but until now, to protect my family and me and my home, yes. This hairdo is protection. This is my free pass to move about the cabin. Because I blend. Look at me blending. Yeah. Kelly says, I worked in customer service for 15 years. We had to bend over backward. Yes. 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 The full quote is the customer's always right in the matters of taste. It means you can like what you like, but we don't or won't sell it, then tough. When I worked in customer service at US Cellular, a customer was bitching about the taxes on his cell bill. He wanted to cancel for 17 cents. Customer relations bent over. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I dealt with those all the time at T-Mobile also. I had a customer call in to bitch about his cell phone bill while he was peeing. Yes. I asked him if he was. He said yes. I said, call back when you're done. I hung up. I could have been fired. On my last day at T-Mobile, I was in the, I give zero fucks. I didn't actually know it was my last day. It was the whole thing. Anyway, I had given my notice at T-Mobile. And then I got into a heated, well, it wasn't even a heated argument. I have the screenshots, guys. I just told a senior executive who was lurking in a private LGBTQ plus Slack space who tried to like mansplain to all of us about how we should stop bitching so much and we don't need all these things. And like, well, you tell me what this means, just like a total fucking white privilege, male white privilege bullshit. Okay. I let him have it in this Slack space. Within 20 minutes of me letting this man have it, who is 3 steps below the CEO of T-Mobile, I was perp walked out of the Salem call center. I didn't get to say goodbye to my friends, nothing. I packed up my stuff and was walked out by my supervisor. All this, they did an investigation. Why would I say that? Why would I say all these things? Because this man's an idiot and he's a senior executive and he's using his power in this group to shut people up. So because it was like, I had like 3 more days technically. It was like Tuesday. It was my last week. So I had already resigned. So this customer calls in, and in sales, you get a lot of scam calls. Okay. You get a person, which I won't do the accent. Okay. But they have a very heavy foreign accent. And they are saying that their name is clearly a man's voice. Okay. And they're saying that their name is Nancy, Jones. And then when you're in sales and you have to like do a soft credit pull to see if the person is eligible for what plans. So you have to get their name, their full name, their address, their social, right. And so when they give you, and their date of birth. So you're talking to this person, you can hear that it's clearly a young voice. You can hear that it's not this person. And then they give you the date of birth. And it's like May 12th, 1925. I'm sorry, you're 99 years old and you've told me all about the iPhone 16 Pro that you want. I call bullshit, right? And they all only want very specific things. And they want to rush you through the process, right? Because if they rush you through the process, they are using a stolen identity and they're using a stolen credit card number. And if they can get the order placed quickly enough before the person's credit card company is alerted, right, to a big purchase at T-Mobile, then it goes through and it gets mailed to some other address, right? They always have a different shipping address. So that day I wasn't taking it anymore. I didn't care. And so the person was like, yeah, and this is, this is Nancy Jones. I was like, is it? Are you? Well, that sounds, wow, you're a hip 96-year-old. Look at you. You just know a lot of technology. And the person started getting really frustrated. Like, I just want to get the phone. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Today, I don't think you're getting the phone because you're full of it. And they were like, I want to talk to your supervisor right now. And I said, no, you know what? That's not happening today. Not today, Satan. I literally said out loud, not today, Satan. Today at T-Mobile, we are not allowing scam people to steal the identity of elderly people and, fraudulently acquire equipment. Bye. And I hung up. I don't regret that. I don't regret it. I don't regret telling that senior executive to take every available seat. I don't regret that. Right? Why don't I regret that? Because like now, I was on the side of justice. I want to see one thing real quick here. Oh, right. It'll be in this one. I want to see one thing because I know I have the screenshot. It's way down in my life. There we go. Okay. So let me. I'll read it to you guys because I don't want to dox people. Okay. So this senior executive wrote in this private Slack group. Okay. So I have it up on my phone here. Thank you to everyone who's commented and provided me feedback. I've reflected on them all week. I've now learned the only way to be an ally in this specific group is to be in support of canceling Chick-fil-A. Canceling a company or a person for their personal beliefs is an individual's right, but demanding others do the same is not productive in finding unity with people you disagree with. I've been an ally to the gay community since the 1990s. My favorite aunt was gay. And I've been in this T-Mobile Pride and Allies group since 2015. I understand that some people in this room will never accept me as an ally, and that's okay. But I'll still support you in being who you are. I wish we could all get along and there was more focus on finding unity. It's sad to see my voice is not welcomed here because of a different opinion. If the only way for you to find unities with others is by canceling Chick-fil-A, you're never going to find unity. To reiterate my position, this message is not to be offensive or rude. Okay. So other people had chimed in and they were getting like shot down a little bit, right? And so I wrote, since you're taking the usual straight white guy approach here of prove it, which is so prevalent on the internet these days, I will humor you with the answer this one last time. Here is the top result of the Google search Chick-fil-A anti-LGBTQ. Okay, and I put the link in there. Please read it. Clue yourself in. I am sure you do have many gay friends and you are a swell fellow. But giving money for delicious food that is still made with hatred for any group is unacceptable. LGBTQIA plus rights are being literally set on fire across the nation right now. We are in fear for our lives. Guys, I wrote this back 2 years ago. Okay, this is 2022, y'all. Actually, it was 2023. Was it 2023? Yeah. This was middle of the year 2023. Okay, I've lost track of time. Anyway. Where did I go? We're now in fear for our lives and our right to merely exist. And you want to come here to one of the last few places that we have that is safe in this country and whine about how you, who have no worries in the whole world ever, while you walk down the street or go anywhere, that you maybe have to think twice about getting food from one single fast food restaurant again because they practice harm against a group of people you are surrounded by at work and probably manage on a daily basis, and you want to be a victim right now? Sir, no. Color me unimpressed. Please take every available seat, okay? Oh, every seat available, okay? This isn't about you. You aren't the star here. You are a guest. You want unity? Try understanding a different perspective. Not everyone can walk through life and into every room and have a voice and have the right to just be there. When I walk into a place, people move. They take their children away. They give me dirty looks. They don't let me pet their dog. They give an audible grunt before they take my order. They put trash in my drink that I have to send back. Does that happen to you all the time? I almost said his first name. Or is the worst that can possibly happen to wreck your day is Starbucks spells your name with a K instead of a C? Please understand that our lives are literally at stake here. And when you give money to companies like this, you are saying out loud, chicken is more important than any of my coworkers. I love these waffle fries more than their human rights. Because those profits then get put into hate groups' hands and are actively lobbying Congress to take away our rights. If you can't see how that doesn't make you an ally to us and anyone else that you know, then I don't know how to lay it out more clearly for you. But please be an adult and don't clap back with an unapology pleading ignorance, just covering up for laziness. It isn't a good look. That was spicy. I didn't swear, as you know, is my penchant. But that got me summarily perp walked right out of T-Mobile, the company that espouses Magenta Life, for its employees. We're an equal opportunity employer, unless, of course, you call out inequity. Unless, of course, you call out a senior executive who has the fucking balls to try and, clap back and demean a minority group while saying they're the victim. It's like yelling fire in a crowded theater, holding the matches that are lit, saying, "You put it on fire." Yeah. Yeah, I know that, Aubrey. I know that. I wish more people would have shown up at the polls, though. Black, white, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, it's not surprising. Okay, one of my friends from 7th grade is a dumper, and her Vietnam vet Marine husband. She has a half Hispanic son from a previous relationship, and his sister has a half black son. Trump voters. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Traveltology says, same as what white privileged mankind did to Inuits in Alaska, complete original cultures and languages destroyed. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. When I was a little girl in the 70s, my granddad taught me to be nice to everyone, but it was especially important to be nice to people of color. Made me think, well, yeah, you should be nice to everybody. The 70s was a raucous time, but you should be nice to everybody. My husband's aunt is Native American elder of the Tuwalip tribe. He and my aunt voted for Donnie in 16. Border and didn't trust Hillary. I haven't talked to them since. Yeah, fuck. I can't. My brother-in-law is Native American, and he's a Trumper. He's a trumpety Trumper. Yeah. I'm Latin, and people mistake me for Persian or Jewish since there's a lot. I'm thinking of wearing a cross so people think I'm a Christian and don't do anything to me. Yeah, you might. You might want to. I mean, guys, there's a reason why this pale is here. I am Greek. Okay, if I was to pull up pictures of myself in my youth, you would not recognize me. I was very dark all the time. The Grecian popped right out of me. Yeah, I'm afraid, but also I live in Oregon. There's not a lot of sun here. And I have tattoos now, so I have to protect them anyway. And my aunt died of skin cancer, so I don't go out in the sun. Okay, it's a whole thing. I'm not going out in the sun. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you. Let me get to your questions, guys. because I have another stream coming up and I got to eat. Have I heard about the open letter from 77 Nobel laureates to the Senate about appointing RFK? No. Who the fuck are these people? I mean, they're saying don't do it. No, I'm going to Google that later. Yeah, can we just say when they're saying the American people as white Christian males? Yeah, that's exactly what they're talking about, Aubrey. 100% fake. No one's happy in there. If they close down schools, will you consider homeschooling your children? I don't know. That's a discussion that my wife and I would have to have. I have no idea. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen here in the Portland metro area. But because our governor's not going to let that shit happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, it's kind of a fucking free-for-all right now. We don't know. If they can do an insurrection, why can't we? I don't know. I don't recommend it. It's still treason. Anyway, yeah. Did I hear about how the Young Turks is now sponsored by the political betting site? No, but that makes total sense. There's a political, guys, is there nothing that isn't fucking gambling worthy? All right, guys. Holy shenanigans. Okay, tomorrow, guys, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this. Oh, you guys, I'm scrolling back through. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that is just for people to understand. I'm me. I've always been me. I'm going to stand up for what's fucking right, even when it costs me my cushy corporate job. Okay, because I have integrity. And that matters. And being on the right side of justice, even when it's not to your personal benefit, matters. Because I can sleep at night. I mean, I have other nightmares. That's from trauma. But I can sleep knowing I did the right thing. I don't have to go to bed wondering, am I a good person because I didn't stand up? I fucking know I stood up. And I stood up as tall and as loud as I possibly could every single time. That's what we all need to do now. Guys, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed and you're on the replay, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate every single one of you, you know, that is here, that is watching, that is learning with me. And also don't forget, guys, go buy some swag. Go get some stuff. All right. I love you. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No Merica. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and giving you a little sparkle of Merica. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com. You'll find